Hello, 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 I go by Bunny, which is a childhood nickname given by my sister, and I like style, and I like Pokemon. I've been playing Leaf Green and been loving it, so I decided to put together a two-parter of me going through the gyms and showing how I did. We are kicking things off in Pewter City, and my team right now was only 3 Pokemon, and by the way, I was planning to do a water playthrough, but at the start of the game we obviously use what we can find. So we are battling Brock right now. Brock and his rock hard Pokemon. His words, not mine. Last time I played Fire Red Leaf Green was as a child. I used an emulator, didn't own a console back then, so I don't remember these levels at all. Level 12 Geodude, I wasn't too worried about since I had the type advantage here and, low kick. Obviously did nicely here. Granted, it being super effective move against, it doesn't do tons and tons of damage, and tackle does some damage to us, but again, not too worried. Now these defense curls, they became a bit of an annoyance, so I lured my way through this and won the fight. Now Chibi gains a level and also, picks up Karate Chop, so we're not mad about that at all. Now here comes an Onyx, and to be honest, level 14 Onyx was a bit scary, but Chibi did his job just fine. We are getting Rock Tomb here, but it's not really doing anything, and we are just hitting with low kicks. Now at this point, I did want to switch out in case Brock decided to potion up, so this is where Tsunami comes in and uses Bubble, and we win the fight. This is great. Tsunami also gains a level and picks up a water gun. And at this point in the game, we are obviously in the early game, but after using Bubble for quite some time, I take water gun. Tsunami is the best boy. We got the Boulder Badge, and the TM you get from Brock is Rock Tomb. And look, as I'm leaving Pewter City, there is Professor Oak's 8 with running shoes from my mom. Thank you, Mama! Now we can run to the next location like the wind. But look, there's a letter attached. Dear Bunny, here is a pair of running shoes. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Hey, that's the mother's role in Pokemon games. Giving you running shoes. We find ourselves in Cerulean City, and at this point I have gone through the Mount Moon. Before Mount Moon, I picked up a Magikarp who I'm pretty sure is gonna stay in the team until the end. This fish boy is called Tanzanite, and you get to buy a Magikarp just before entering Mount Moon. Chibi, Tsunami, and Jigs I already had in the team, but then we also got Jigglypuff, Marsha, and Girl Neuron Didi from Route 3. Oh, and Tsunami has evolved into a beautiful Wartortle, and Wartortle's design is peak, isn't it? I do defend my boy Blastoise, but Wartortle is the better design in my opinion. So, water playthrough starting nicely. I have all 2 water Pokemon in the team. Now, let's go beat Misty. But before that, I am fighting this Team Rocket Grunt Burglar. You will get TM28 from him, which is Dig, and that's a very nice pickup to be honest, since it basically works in the game same way as an escape rope. Tanzanite is going in first because we are obviously wanting to gain as much experience as we can for him, so he can become a beautiful Gyarados. And look, we also evolved Didi into a Nidorina. It's time to say goodbye to the burglar and go fight Misty finally. Misty, who by the way is my favorite Pokemon girly. I am collecting all the Misty's Pokemon cards, and I just recently found the Misty Sidra, or Katsumi no Shidra as the card is in Japanese. It's from 1998 from Original Leader Stadium, which in English the same card were found in Original Gym Heroes, and I am honestly so happy that I found it. It's one of my, I guess you could say, chase cards, and I've been looking for a long time for that one. So I thought Misty would have more Pokemon. As I mentioned, I don't remember much of the detail from this game. Other games like Soul Silver I have played again as an adult, but to be honest, wouldn't remember much of that either, cause it still was many years ago. I'm obviously leading with Cheeks, and this was surprisingly easy actually. 2 Thundershock were enough to demolish Staryu, and Cheeks gained some points, and then it's Starmie time. Starmie is beautiful. I love, by the way, the shiny of Starmie as well. And now behold how the water pulse totally wrecks Cheeks. We are gonna do Thundershock one more time, but it honestly, even if it's super effective, it doesn't do anything. But luckily, Tsunami comes in and he has Bite. So we're gonna be good. We're gonna be so good. Or are we? This did prove to be a lot tougher than I had expected, because I thought that I would fly through this fight with the dark type attack. But you know, Water Pulse is surprisingly strong, and then the confusion, it was just wrecking me. I kept hitting myself, and I also almost fainted, but luckily Tsunami pushed through. He is literally hanging by a thread with 3 health, but I potioned up so that I can buy a little bit more time. Still got hit a lot with confusion though, so I did decide to switch out and go to DD, although, you know, water attacks are super effective and you can see it. Oh my god, hanging by a thread again. But the important part is that we can get the confusion off of Tsunami and bite back.
Second bite will seal the deal, and we beat Misty with the help of 2 super potions, no less. So, Cascade Badge is mine, and so is TM for Water Pulse. Poof! We are in Vermilion City. Before taking on Lieutenant Surge, I had already trained in Rock Tunnel that connects Route 10, which is close to Cerulean City, to Lavender Town. My Tanzanite baby evolved into a Gyarados, and at this point I also decided to evolve my Nidorina into the queen that she truly is. I like poison typing, and I definitely like Poison Point as an ability. I also have to say I really do like Nidoqueen's sprite in the game, and I think when discussing Nidoqueen versus Nidoking, I might prefer the queen more, maybe a tad bit. And by the way, I didn't talk to this dude at first, but also he gave us a valuable lesson that you can find the second lock next to the first lock, so thank you. Okay, it's time to beat Lieutenant Surge, who starts by calling us puny, which I've had some people confusing how to say my name or my nickname Puni. Let me tell you, it's not puny, it's just Puni, pronounced quite phonetically. I was surprised Surge had Voltorb, but this was an easy win with Rock Slide. I trained for this gym because I thought the levels might be quite a bit higher than what Misty has, but level 18 Pikachu was easy peasy. Rock Slide will literally demolish this tiny little mouse. Chippy Julie is a good early Pokemon in this game, but I never actually got to evolve it into a Primeape. I didn't have the time, you know. Raichu was level 24, so I definitely wasn't under level. I still think Raichu wasn't the easiest because of the evasiveness, and since I wanted to switch to Tsunami for the dig, which I don't get to use since Shockwave does massive damage, and I'm worried for my Shell Shocker baby's well-being here. So we make the switch for Nidoqueen. Didi was such a safe queen here. Electricity never bothered her anyway. And she gets the poisoning immediately. We just had to bite, and kick. Of course, Surge will try to save his comrade with full heal, but it's too late. You lost him. Man down. Didi goes like, ram pa pa bum, I just kicked a man down. And yahoo, this is how we get a Thunder Badge from the Lieutenant. Thank you, and also a TM for Shockwave. Okay, let's get out of here and teleport ourselves into the next city. Poof, we are in Lavender Town, and next up in my adventures, I was desperate to get the good rod and super rod for the fishes, you know, I want to find the fishes. Some water Pokemon in my team, please, and thank you. Getting the rods is a whole arc in this game, but first we need to fight Oliver, who calls us a stinker and also says smelly later. I don't know, this boy is obsessed with smells, I think. So what you need to do is that first you need to find Cubone's mother's ghost in Lavender Town's Pokemon Tower, but you can't identify it, so you need a Sylph Scope, which is found in Celadon City. It's located in the game corner, and while you are in Celadon City, you can get yourself an Eevee as a gift Pokemon. Then you head back to free Cubone's mom's ghost, and then you can go up the stairs and save Mr. Fuji from Team Rocket, and he gives you the flute. And then, only then, you can go and wake up Snorlax. Snorlax is a grumpy boy, but after beating him you can continue your journey and go to a cottage down the pier, and then you can immediately get Super Rod earlier in the game than a Good Rod. The thing is, some Pokemon are more catchable, believe it or not, with the Good Rod. Horsey is one of those Pokemon, and I think Magikarp is as well, since this fishing guru asks us to catch a big Magikarp with the Super Rod. I actually never did this assignment, so I don't know what the rewards are, but I guess there might be some. For Good Rod, you have to go to Fuchsia City, where the next gym is as well, and after visiting Safari Zone and finding teeth that belong to this sweet old man here, you also get a fossil. Now, before going to challenge Erika, I did some fishing, specifically with Good Rod, because Horsey, as I mentioned, is one of the Pokemon that the encounter rate is bigger with Good Rod than Super Rod, and I really wanted a Horsey. And here we are, starting to fish with Good Rod, and guys, look at this, Pokemon is on the hook, and it's a beautiful Horsey, and we have a Jewel, aka Staryu, on the team. With a little help of sleep and little help of getting the HP low, we finally get a Horsey to our team, and he is such a cutie. Before challenging Erika, it was time to get more water in my team by evolving Staryu, aka Crown Jewel, aka Jewel, because the whole name wouldn't fit into a Starmie. She's beauty and she's grace. Okay, enough with that. It was also time to evolve my Eevee from Celadon City. Here's the thing with his nickname, okay? If it was a girl Eevee, it would be called Tiffany, as in the Tiffany blue color. But with a little boy Eevee, I had to get a bit more creative. Throughout the game, I kept calling him Tiffy, but the name change took me a while. So, you know, his name was just Tiffy Blue, aka Tiffy. Alright. Here we have Erika playing very cute, very coy, very girly, not even understanding that I was here to challenge her. But let's go. I was honestly quite surprised by this victory bell. Sure, it's the 4th gym, but I was a bit taken aback, to be honest, and decided to switch to Duchess. You know, a safer bet maybe for me. Who, by the way, also went through a little makeover, little name change, because she had proven her worth to the team over and over again, so she had to become Duchess instead of just plain old Didi. Surely, getting paralyzed is a bit annoying, but we managed through that just fine. And again, Nidoqueen Duchess shows how useful she can be in this playthrough. If I wanted to use multiple typings in this playthrough, Nidoqueen would totally represent my ground poison Pokemon, because I just really love a Nidoline. I love a Nidoqueen, hands down. With Jewel against Tangela, I decided to camouflage. By the way, is it Tangela or Tangela? Well, I say Tangela. I just do camouflage and change typing. I thought that it would be the safest way. Now I have to say, I'm a fan of running Starmie with camouflage, especially with what's going to be a full water team. It does give a nice coverage against electric and grass type attacks. I was running Jewel with leftovers so we could get a tiny bit health back, but Tangela also had ingrains, so we were in a similar situation. I wasn't too worried about poisoning either, firstly because of leftovers, and Starmie also has natural cure and will heal status conditions when switching out. I took the safe route and recovered because I just don't like risking my Pokemon's health. I don't like my poor babies fainting. Since this fight started to drag on, I switched to my Tansy boy. After Erika's hyper potion, it took a dragon rage and a couple of bites to finish D'Angela off, so quite a bit of work. The ingrain definitely forced the battle to drag on. Now, my Pokemon were a bit over leveled against Erika, not including Retrieval, but getting poisoned was a bit annoying in this fight, although I do like poisoning as a status condition, like it's my favorite one, meaning I like to use it. I obviously don't love to be poisoned myself. Vileplume was also at the same level as my Pokemon. I thought Erika would have a Gloom since I remember that Gloom would be her ace, but I guess it makes sense to have a Vileplume as it is the 4th gym. For Duchess with Aerial Ace though, it wasn't an issue at all. If you want to do a playthrough with a single Pokemon, Nidos would definitely be an option. Also, if I didn't want to end up with a fully water team, as I mentioned, I definitely would have kept Nidoqueen in. Like, I am definitely utilizing her quite a lot in this playthrough, but it will get more watery as we go on with the other gyms as well. You don't have a huge access to early water Pokemon in this game, like I mentioned. Getting the rods was an arc of its own. Now that Erika is acting very surprised that we won and concedes, we finally get a rainbow badge, which is probably my favorite design when it comes to the Kanto gym badges. I also love the soul badge though. We also get Kika Drain from Erika, but I can't really use it with my team though. That's fine. This was the first 4 gyms of Pokemon Leaf Green. Rest of the gyms will be included in part 2, so I hope to see you there. If you like to watch people play Pokemon games, do consider to check out my occasional streams. Bye guys!